Magnificent morning, fantastic afternoon, and marvelous evening. This is Carla from MindPlore with Carla and Friends. And right now we are missing some of our panel. I'm not sure why. And our special guest isn't here, so we're waiting for him to show up. And I think things get a little off kilter when I'm not here regularly, which may happen again in February. But we don't know yet. Come on, guys, where are you? Having said that, today we are talking about happiness. And happiness is not in my mind, it shouldn't be conditional. It shouldn't be because, oh, Jeff is here, Kamran's here, and 3 people are not here. I want to be able to feel happy regardless. And having said that, what is happiness? Is it a conditional thing based on what we get through the year? Or is it something that we feel in our hearts every day, regardless? Now, I do want to say we do have a special guest who hasn't quite gotten here yet. And I'd like to hear what Jeff has to say about happiness. And okay, Jeff.
Thank you. Happiness, look, there's happiness, I believe, means many things to many people. That if we ask 100 people what happiness is, we probably get 200 answers. That depends upon where we are in our lives. It provides context to happiness. It is both an emotion. It's also part of our consciousness. It's also a part of how we are. We can also be alluding with happiness, but not saying the word. It's our actions that make others happy. Happiness, look, as much as consciousness is a chemical in our mind that allows us to be different than others, happiness is part of consciousness from my perspective, that we can empower ourselves to be happy and we can act in a happy way and have happy mannerisms, because if really happiness could be, if you will, from a chemical perspective, the trigger that puts the endorphins in the dopamine in our bloodstream. It is how we perceive and how our body regulates. And arguably, the happier we are, the better we can have. We have a positive effect on ourselves and on others. I believe that when we are at ease, when we are in I'll call a meditative state, I like to believe we're also happy. I believe that when we are at peace with ourselves, we are happy. When we are around people that we absolutely love and adore, we are happy. And in the physical realm, we speak about a happy place. The photograph behind me is one of my happy places, a place where I go to experience the night sky. While I do appreciate beautiful sunrises and sunsets, my truly happy place is this land behind me when it's dark outside, when I can look up and see the universe and be reminded very politely that we are made of cosmic dust. And that somehow in that realm, I find absolute happiness, absolute truth, and I feel really good. And I like to find other folks who also feel at peace being who they are. So happiness is something that I think is both innate and also something which we learn, that we react in a way primitive, and over time we learn to appreciate the happiness of others, that as we socialize, we learn to connect, and that as we are able to dynamically adjust our vibration, our energy, and our frequencies, we can vibe with others and contribute to other people's happiness, other coexistence happiness. And so for me, happiness is both the individual and the collective. We don't necessarily need permission to be happy, but we may want to allow ourselves to be happy, particularly if you've had lots of sadness. Sometimes it's when we have these other moments that all of a sudden you realize you can also be happy. You can be grateful to be alive. You can be grateful for many things. Happiness doesn't necessarily mean laughing. although that might be extreme happiness. There's also a lot of ironic happiness. But for me, happiness is, to phrase a line from a song, popular song, happiness is to me much more than a phrase written on a doormat. Happiness is a way to be. You can empower yourself to say, I will have a happy day, and you can look for good things. And I believe that we can react in a happy way and be appreciative of others, but most importantly to ourselves. I believe that when we engage in a self-love practice, we will be happy. Frankly, if you're engaging in self-love and doing things for yourself that matter and you're not happy, perhaps you should see a medical doctor. So for me, happiness is one of the core elements of being. And I like to believe that in the collective, we can bring more happiness and love and joy into this world. We just have to be open to it and to receive, and to receive the happiness of others, and to be open to sharing our voice to those who want to hear us. And collectively, by bringing more happy, to me, that's bringing more light and joy and delight. And that is something I'm in favor of.
And okay, I like your definition of happiness because I believe that it is within. How can we help our viewers realize it and bring it within ourselves?
You asking me or to?
I'm asking you, and then I'm going on to Kamran.
All right. So for our viewers, I would ask you, the viewers, to close their eyes and to imagine themselves in a place where they know they're happy. Allow their imagination to travel to that spot where they cannot get enough of, where they like to be. It could be with a loved one. It could be with a family member. It could be a location where they know that they have unbounded opportunities just to do what they want to do. And allow their imagination to travel, take them to travel to these places, to see people alive or who have passed, and spend those times with them, and allow them to open their eyes and know that those people will always be with them, that they can enjoy the presence, and they can take that happy place and bring them into that moment where they are, and know that they can actually keep that happy energy with them. So I would ask the viewers to allow their imagination to take them to those places, and then slowly open their eyes, having experienced that happy, and smile, or at least acknowledge that they are in a good place. And as they bring forward their day or their evening, their nights, to know they can always find that happy if they allow themselves to, that we do not have to panic. We can allow ourselves to be settled, to be centered, to breathe these moments of joy and delight into our lives at any moment in time. We are magical beings. We have an imagination. We can allow ourselves to find the good. And when we find the good in ourselves, we can bring it forward to others. We just have to allow ourselves to take that time to breathe, to be, to take in the happy, and at their leisure to share it if they will, but to know that they can always find the happy in themselves. And when they can do that, they can be comfortable being who they are.
Okay. What do you think, Kamran?
Thank you, Carla. I feel that Jeff has touched on several aspects of happiness, and how not only can it be nurtured within us, but also how we can share it with others. Gratitude is one, being alive and appreciating the fact that we are alive is another. And I was just looking at the happiness factor from a menu of emotions that we experience being alive. So, there's a kaleidoscope of emotions, sorrow and pain and agony and joy and ecstasy and happiness, anger, fury, sadness. All of these emotions add up to what life is about. And they, so when we are talking of happiness, I have a feeling that we cannot ignore its opposite, because it is the opposite that helps us appreciate the happiness that we find through a process of reflection and asking ourselves that it's okay to go through the ups and downs of life. And the value of the ups, we value the ups only when we have seen the downs. I'm very concerned when people haven't had a dip in their life, and they may face a dip and they may not be prepared for it. So happiness is a state that we keep coming to through our awareness, our skill, our ability to meditate, to be in the present, in the now, so that we are able to command our brain in a way that makes us not only beings who contribute to society and help spread joys, rather than become very self-centered, because happiness doesn't come from being on your own. It comes from sharing. And when you share joys, they multiply.
Would you go on?
No, that's my initial thought process triggered by Jeff's remarks.
Would you say that happiness has something to do with giving to others, in the sense that you serve someone, you help someone across the street, you share a smile with someone who wasn't happy, was really feeling sad, and all of a sudden you see a smile on their face? Would that be part of happiness?
In fact, it takes me to the spiritual aspect of life. And I have always felt that whenever we want to make another person happy by giving a hug or a smile or showing the way or helping in some form, through encouragement or some material help, happiness is God flowing through you, because it's not that you are doing the good. It is you allowing yourself the privilege of being able to do what God intended for you to do. And when God flows through you, that feeling is happiness.
Okay. Can you give me an example in your life where you have felt that to be part of your life?
Whenever I have made a difference in someone's life, and I've heard some remarks from people of appreciation, I literally have realized that, hey, listen, I was merely a medium. All I did was open myself up, and God flowed through me, and that current was the sense of joy and happiness. And you're in a state of rapture, and you're in awe, because it's not you who do it. You're just a receptacle. You're a medium, and you just want to open yourself to the flow. And I think whenever I've experienced that, it's because there was goodwill, there was good wishes exchanged, and the person was extremely grateful. And then I encouraged them to say, hey, listen, I simply did what was required at that time, but it's all from him for us, and let's all be thankful to him. And gratitude is that state, isn't it? Which enables us to own and appreciate and be thankful. And New Year is coming, and the holiday season is coming, and I feel that this is a time when we truly want to take stock of all the gifts that we possess, what we already have, and be grateful for that, and also see if we can part with things that we don't need and someone could truly benefit from.
Okay, what do you think, Jeff?
I think that upon reflection, we can, look, for me, it's about introspection, about looking inside to look outside, and that's where we can make adjustments and also embrace that happy and embrace and engage in a practice that enables us to first feel comfortable with who we are, right? Because happiness is a beautiful goal. It comes though when we allow ourselves to find that balance, to find our footing, to allow ourselves not to beat ourselves up, right? Don't think about the mistakes we made, because I don't believe anybody should be judged based on the worst day of their life. And we are people who allow second chances. We allow ourselves to do again, to learn and to apply, and we could find that way to iterate to happiness. That even if we did not start off on a happy trail, sometimes it's those roads less traveled in our lives that bring the most joy and delight to ourselves. But we didn't know that at the time, because we didn't have an appreciation for what we were doing. That we went on a journey that perhaps someone else put us on, and we were not in awe of it. Perhaps we did it begrudgingly, but then magic happened because you found something. You found the butterfly that gave you a path to follow, that brought unbounded joy and delight. It's like discovering a waterfall that you didn't know existed, and you realize, I love to see waterfalls. Or there's a rainbow. Or there's something just magical that I cannot explain, the serendipity, the joy and delight that just happened, but there it is in front of me, as if it's a miracle, and I'm here with it. And it's those magical moments that not only bring forward happiness, but remind us that who we are, and to embrace those days every day and those moments every day. And it's in the holiday season that I'm reminded of those who are with us and those who have passed. And rather than regret the opportunities of who I didn't say I love you to, take the opportunities to say I love you whenever you can, to whomever you can, and understand that you will be received, you will be heard, and you will connect in the most loving, giving way possible. That should bring a smile to you. That should bring joy and delight to those you share with, as well as to yourself. And allow yourself to embrace in a practice that you are a good person. You're doing good. You may not always be understood, but you have good intentions. And with that, you can smile and allow yourself to be happy, to let go of anything and everything that encumbers you. Because congratulations, you've made it through to the hardest day of your life already, and you're here at this moment hearing this. Enjoy and relish those moments. And know that tomorrow is another day. Be in the now. Tomorrow will not remember today. You will. And if you learn to let go, you can fly, and you can go anywhere you want to, because you are truly unbounded. You are a magical, enchanted being. Allow yourself to breathe and be you, and bring the joy and delight to yourself and to anyone else you can share it with.
And I agree with you. We know that earlier in the show, or before we went on air, we were expecting a very special guest who for some reason has not been able to get here. I assume there's some type of internet problem, or I would have heard from him. And I was feeling, oh my gosh, I was feeling very disappointed, because it would have been a lot of fun. And we're also missing the kids who told me they were going to be here to enjoy the festivities. And I realized that I needed to not make these conditions of people not showing up as important as allowing myself to accept what is in the world, what is here now. We have this moment and only this moment. And this moment is the important moment in our life. And many people say, oh, it's a holiday season, we're going to get together with family and blah, 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 which is wonderful. And they get very happy and excited. But shouldn't we be this way, not just because of the holiday, but because this is our lives? I hope I asked the question a little clearly. Kamran.
Yes, I think every day is to be celebrated. Every day is important. For example, I'm often asked, when is your birthday? And I say, why do you want to know? And they say, well, I want to give you a gift on your birthday. I said, well, listen, I'm born every day and sometimes 2 or 3 times in a day. So how many gifts are you going to give
So
me?
absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Because I mean, every time you awaken to a new insight, you're born. You're born to something new. And yesterday, as I loved it when Jeff said that tomorrow doesn't remember yesterday. It's you who remembers it. I thought that was great. Um, every day, I mean, we must not count days in our life. We must live our life each day to
Thank
the
you.
full.
Amen. Amen.
That's what we really need to be doing. So holiday season is every day, and celebration is every day, and is every day. Play hard, work hard, have fun. When you go to bed, you die. And when you wake up, you say, hey, I've got another day. Thank God for that. Let's do something with that. And
Every
not
day
carry
is
the baggage.
every day is a miracle, and so the holiday seasons may be commercialized around the world as a way to give gifts or to otherwise take advantage of our own charity. The reality is every day is a miracle. Every day we have a chance to breathe and be who we are and discover something new. We are truly unbounded. It's our imagination that drives us, and it's us who limits us. But we by nature can do almost anything. When we dream, anything becomes possible. So yes, I believe every day is our birthday. Every day is a day to celebrate the joy and delight of love, of life, of opportunity. And don't hold back your dreams, because the only person you're holding back is you. And when you learn to understand that we are all but made of cosmic dust, that in the end, who we are is who we are, we can have a positive impact on others. It all starts with you. And to understand the magic of being who you are and your absolute contribution of being, because in the end, the power of one is much more powerful than the power of none. Yes, it may take a community to make effective change, but you can make a difference. Sharing your voice, being present, smiling, and just listening. Magical stuff. And look, I have to go, but I will not, but I'll be here in spirit. I love you guys. I wish you a very happy holiday. And just remember to smile and be happy as often as you can and share your love and your light whenever possible. And I'll be back again soon. Love you guys.
Happy
Thank
New
you.
Year.
Thank you.
One more thing that I want to ask you, and we will end early because of this. Every moment is important. And very often we get, oh, Neville's stuck somewhere. Just got a message.
Good. At least we know he's okay.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to be sure of. Every moment is important. And we take so much time to worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. Is the show going to go on like I like it to? Or regret what has happened in the past. We can't take away the past. And we can't be that concerned about the future. So how do we work on staying in the moment? Or how do you, Kamran?
Well, I've come to realize that mind is a terrible master and a brilliant slave. And it is only when we let our mind loose and it goes rampant, that's when we swing between the past and the future, the guilt of what we did and the fear of what's about to happen. And it takes us on a roller coaster ride. Unless we take the reins and enslave it, control it, and command it. And intent, by the way, is our conscious, deliberate command to the brain that, look, this is what I intend to do, and this is what I expect from you. I do not want you to take me hither, thither, and anywhere else. other than what I am planning to do. So the way we literally compose ourselves and get into the now and savor the moment is by taking charge of our mind. And to do that, breathing is very useful. Yoga helps us in doing that. And also realizing that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and mind is a blessing, a tool that we want to use and not become a victim of it. I mean, we speak of artificial intelligence and speak of it with fear. I mean, artificial intelligence came from natural intelligence, which is again out of our control. It needs to be back in our control. We need to master it, and then we will be able to live the kind of life that we have crafted for ourselves and not be subjected to excitements, delusions, fears, and paranoia of all kinds that the mind can throw us into.
Well, talking about that, just what happened today was really disappointing to me. I had it really well planned. And I could either be very upset about it, or I could worry no one's going to be watching the show ever again because of what happened. But at the same time, I'm having a wonderful conversation with you, and well, Jeff's gone now. That would not have happened if we didn't put this together in the past.
And the good thing is that this effort of yours is not going anywhere. It's going to be in cyberspace for years and for decades, God knows. And I'm sure that you and I may not be here in 100 years, but at least our conversation will be.
And that's pretty cool. We just had one of the panelists show up. So we'll say hello to him before we close out. Actually, I don't think you have met Huzaifa before. He is, where is he? Huzaifa, please put on your camera. Unless you're having internet issues and then you can't, please let me know. Well, he obviously is, there he is, I think. Huzaifa, you're pretty late. Now, I know you were having internet issues. Are they cleared up now, or what's going on?
Yep, it's a lot better now.
Okay.
Yes, I remember meeting Huzaifa some months ago. I'm not sure exactly when. Huzaifa, do you recall us talking to each other?
Yes, we've been in sessions together 2 to 3 times, I guess.
I'm sure, yes. But I'm really happy that you were able to make it. And I hope that future MindPlore sessions are going to have you in them. I hope you can make it on time next time.
Well, explain to us what happened, Huzaifa.
I don't know. It was just a connectivity issue. I couldn't work. It just wasn't working right. It wouldn't open any website. It just won't let me do the work I usually do with internet. I was having this with about 1 to 2 hours. So it was a little bit, when I tried to join right now, it was having problems right now as well. But luckily I was able to join right now properly. And I hope you can see me clear and hear me clearly.
Okay, yes, we can. How did you feel during those moments when you knew or you didn't know if you would get in?
Well, most of the time I have to think over the situation, and if I don't have much time, so I just do what comes up in my mind, what satisfies me at the moment.
And what was the satisfying factor today?
Like right now, I was trying to reconnect again and again. I tried to connect it with my mobile hotspot, but unfortunately, my mobile data was. I also ran out of mobile data. Then I just hope for the internet connection to work again, and it worked magically.
Okay. Very good. Were you very upset during that time?
Well, you can't say upset because I was like I was disturbed that I might not be able to join MindPlore, but I was also trying to fix it and trying to get my laptop to connect at that moment. So I was actually thinking about that more at the time. But then at like 9:15, I realized that if it doesn't get fixed, I can join MindPlore. So then I struggled even more to get it connected. And when I could get my websites and Google running, so I texted you. And then after that, I properly set it up again. And now I'm here.
Well, we're glad you're here. So, what do you have to say about happiness? Is it an inner job or is it an outer job?
So for this, I have a very conventional answer. Some might agree with it and some might not, because happiness is an inside job. For me, happiness is an inside job. Because if you're not happy, really happy from inside, and just trying to show it from outside that you are having a good life and everything, but you know that you are not happy from inside, and you know that something is wrong. So what's the point of happiness that doesn't make you happy? So for me, happiness is really an inside job, and it is not something that you have to run after. It's something that you will eventually have to get. There's some point in life that might be upsetting, but it's not like everyone's life is always the worst. It's always bad things. Most of the time, I believe that, no, I'm saying that not always, and most of the time we are having little things that make us happy. Even though they're not big changes, they might not be big changes, but they're still making us happy. So that even little moment of happiness that we get is necessary for us to live, and it is happiness. So happiness is an inside job, and we have to when we get happiness, we like become alive from inside. Like when you're sad or when you're upset, so you can get things right, you don't do things right, you don't think right, you get depressed. Everything gets messed up. Positive. If you try to think positive and put things in the right order, then it will give you happiness.
Okay. What do you
And
want to
happiness
say?
for me,
Oh, go on.
and for me, success isn't just having money, a car, or like luxurious house. It's whatever you want from inside. So happiness is equals to success, and success is equals to happiness. Because when you will achieve success, when you will be happy, you will eventually be achieving success is in any aspect of life. Those are my thoughts on this topic.
What do you want to say to that, Kamran?
Yeah, I think Huzaifa makes a lot of sense. It is definitely an inside job. And I came across a quote from some place which said that destination, and often destination is viewed as a place where we get to. And I found that in this quote, it says that destination is not a place. It is the way you view the world. The way you start viewing the world, that is the destination. And I feel that it is by changing the way we see things that brings greater happiness to us. And it is therefore an inside job. It is our paradigm, and it is our ability to interpret things in a way which gives us a sense of empathy, and at the same time, gratitude and a feeling of happiness as a result of how we interpret things. And of course, I mean, balance must never be lost. And balance comes from knowing that this too shall pass. So if we are going through a rough patch, this knowledge that it will pass brings us back to a state of calm. And when we are very happy, let us also remember this too will pass. And in a way, you remain in a state of equilibrium, balance. And it's always nice to dip into a sense of ecstasy and joy and happiness, because it is these contrasts that really bring music to life. Imagine monotone. There would be no music. It is a lot of highs and lows and tones involved, and rhythm. And life is also rhythmic. And flashes of joy and happiness is what truly makes me appreciate that. It's not a perpetual state. It is moments that come and you cherish them.
But is it the moments that make us happy, or is it keeping ourselves centered that makes us really happy?
I think centered. And that this too shall pass is what is important. Being alive is the very source of joy. Just being alive and being able to feel things. Feeling the pain of other is also a capacity that we have. And it is proof of our humanity. It is when we become insensitive to the pain of others that we cease to be human at that point in time. So I think being human, being alive, is enough of a source of happiness, which expresses itself in different ways. And that state of balance and calm, which comes from gratitude, regardless, because things don't happen to me, they happen for me, changes everything. And the sparks that we get are the fireworks that we enjoy. And at the same time, if we can retain that balance, we'll be okay. And that being okay is being happy with what we have and then striving for more.
Being okay with what is happening is letting go of the conditions.
Yeah.
And many people feel that they need a reason to be happy. I have someone who comes to the English show very, very regularly. And I've worked hard on getting him to smile. And he often says, but I don't feel like smiling. And I say, okay. I have moments I don't feel like smiling too. But I know that when I smile, it takes off the depression or the sadness. We don't need to smile and laugh for a reason. We just smile and laugh because that joy, which is inside of us, begins to spring out. It's deep within, happiness is deep within our hearts. But because we are human beings, often we say, oh, I really wanted to get that car today. Or I really wanted Santa to be here today, and he was supposed to be here and he didn't come, and I could be really, really bummed out. Or I could say, okay, Santa didn't get here, but Kamran got here, Jeff got here, and Huzaifa got here really late, but he got here. that in itself should be enough. And accepting ourselves as we are and not as we want to be or as we thought it may be allows that happiness to be felt deep inside. Guys, what do you think?
Huzaifa.
I totally agree with that. And just as you said that when we don't feel like smiling, well, that is just an understatement, because it's not like when we feel like smiling. We can feel like smiling every time if we want to. It's how we perceive things and how we look at things. It's all about our perspective. Like you gave an example that I could see, like we should see on the positive side of things. If something doesn't happen according to our plan, we should see that what good it brings. And it's not like if something bad happened, it didn't bring any good. It has to bring something good, even if it's a little thing or it's not that big of a change, but it is something good. And it is also about just your state of mind. If you're sad at someday, you might not want to eat your favorite dishes. You might not want to talk to anyone. It's just a state of mind. You will get over it. But we shouldn't get bummed out about it all the time. Like this didn't happen, this didn't happen. It's what we feel, what we try to feel from inside that brings us our emotions. The brain only thinks according to us. If we think that we're sad, we will be sad. Like, I mean, that it's not like things we shouldn't get sad. Being sad is also a necessity of life. You should get sad from time to time. But it's not like that being grumpy and sad all the time and always being complaining. That's not the way to live. You have to be happy. You have to find ways to be happy from time to time. It's just what life is. Just be who you are and try to adapt yourself according to yourself, not according to your surroundings, not according to other people's happiness, according to your own happiness. Like if I like doing something, like if I like playing games, but my friend doesn't like playing games, rather he likes painting or something, and I like that friend and I want to maintain the friendship. So I might try to adapt to him and learn painting, even if I don't like it. But that's not the right way. If my friend really wants to be in a friendship with me, he will also try to change himself a little bit for me, and I will change myself a little bit for him. But it's not like that I will throw away all my games and just focus on painting so I can satisfy my friend. I am a human being myself. I have to look after myself first and then look at others.
Okay, what do you think about that, Kamran?
I cannot agree more with Huzaifa. He makes a lot of sense in that we are different. All of us have our own likes and dislikes, and accepting the fact that, we have different pursuits. Focus on the common. Focus on what you share with each other. There are certain things that are different in terms of our interests, our hobbies, our priorities, but there are some areas where we find commonality. And it is in that common ground that our friendships really flourish. And our relationship also gives rise to happiness. Because if we enjoy good, healthy relationships where we accept each other for what we are, and which comes from respect, happiness is bound to follow. Because the source of happiness is very trusting, good, reliable relationships where we can open up to each other without fear, and we know that we have each other's back. And that knowledge in itself is so comforting and so satisfying. It's unbelievable. And I don't think you can imagine the word happiness without a set of relationships, friends, family, mentors, and others that we have around us in our lives.
Okay, it appears that we keep repeating the basic theme. So I think we are going to end early. Do you have anything else you want to offer, Huzaifa?
Well, I think we pretty much said it all, but I just want to repeat that just be happy and be happy for what you already have. And if you really want something, don't run after it and be grumpy or sad that you don't have it. Just be excited or just look at the fact that you have something right now. And you might get it in future if you stay positive. If you really work hard and try to go after it positively. So that's just my message for now. That be happy for what you have and be happy from inside, not to show others.
Good, good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Huzaifa. Thank you, Kamran, and thank you, Jeff, who had to leave early. The show didn't go as I thought it would go, but it went well anyway. Because we need to be in the moment. And there is no two people who think exactly alike. And sometimes I think much differently than other people. So knowing that, thank you, everyone. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, and we will be here hopefully next week. And we're going to talk about what we want in the new year and how to bring in that new year with more joy and happiness. And with that, can we wave goodbye, everyone? Huzaifa. And we'll see you next week.
Yes.